Hey, it's BT with the BT Jerez 2019 MotoGP review. Let's get right to it. I love Jerez. Real quick story. I was there 2 years ago, and if you know me, when I fly, I don't plan anything when I travel. I don't plan anything. So I had a hotel like about an hour and a half away. That's dumbass here. So I knew I had to get to the racetrack early. I had set my alarm for 4:30 in the morning. Got to the racetrack around 6:15. And so I said, I'll just sleep in my car till about 7:30, get some breakfast. They start blaring "We Will Rock You" over the loudspeaker at 6:30 in the morning. And I said, well, I guess I'm up now. That's the passion those people have for MotoGP. And there was a line forming at 6:15 in the morning to get into that circuit. That's why I love it. It's the first race of the European round. The Spanish, the passion the Spanish and the Italians have for MotoGP, and it's in Europe and it's the first round. That's why I think they take a little more chances because they're in front of their home. It's like when your parents get to see you for the first time and you're doing a sport, you go, I want to make mommy and daddy proud. That's what that's like. So, and then you saw it in the Moto3 race. Moto3 it's always crazy. Let me tell you something. Even though I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm feeling for Fanati right now. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You see the frustration. He's doing everything right. He's kissing babies. He's handing out all-day suckers. It's right now, it's not coming for him. Who knows if it's going to. Aaron Canet is racing more mature. You know why I said this as a joke, but it's the truth. He's got hair on his face now. He's hitting puberty. Literally, he's got a little goatee. He's got a little mustache. He's feeling himself. Max Biaggi's in his corner. So when you feel himself, you got a little confidence, and it's showing. Even though he's leading the championship, he didn't podium. You can tell he's got that little swagger. He's always had a swagger, but now he's got a little more swagger. But let me tell you something. What got me in Moto3 was watching Niccolo Antonelli and Katsu Suzuki, who both raced for Marco Simoncelli's father. Yeah, Marco Simoncelli's father. Watching them win the race and get a podium. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I had goose pimples on my forearm watching it because if I lost my son racing, I don't know if I would I'd still have a race team and be that hands-on. I don't know if I would do that. And the fact that he's there, and he cares too. He's with those riders, he cares about them. And if you know Nico Antonelli, I'm not trying to brag like I know Nico Antonelli, but I see him around the paddock. When he was going through it in the last 2 years, when I'd see him, he'd still greet me with a smile, and he was still like, hey man, I'll never give up, and I'm always trying. And he was crashing, not getting points. And the fact that he won, that got me right in the feels. I'm not gonna lie, man. I almost shed a tear watching that. You watch Mr. Simoncelli, and you know what happened, and everybody loves his son, and you see his. Man, it just really was touching. So it was great to see Nico Antonelli and Katsu Suzuki cut off Celestino Vietti. Celestino Vietti, I said 2 years. This kid is going to fight for the championship toward the end of the year. You watch. Celestino Vietti, that kid has got a boatload of talent. You just watch, and he's got that name, Celestino Vietti. The Italians got the name sewn up, don't they? Vietti. Rossi, Mattia Pizzini. I just love the Italians. And Celestino Vietti is going to be the next great thing out of Italy. You watch. He podiumed there. He almost won a race last year. The kid's got a boatload of talent. Watch him go to the end of the year. Anyway, I felt bad for Jeremy Masia. It was kind of cute to see he and Marquez in the pre-race presser, kind of like giggling like little schoolboys. Thought that was great. That's why you love GP. Anyway, Moto2. Man, was that crash scary. I'm glad. And that's why when I do these, I want you to laugh. I want you to have a good time. But also, that's why I don't go too hard on these riders, because of things what happened in Moto2. That crash coming out of the first corner with Remy Gardner. Man, I don't care who it was, but the fact, I know Remy, that hurt a little bit more. I mean, I was a little more like vexed watching it because, I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I know Remy, and it was so scary. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad everybody's okay in that race, and I'm glad. And props to Alex Marquez for getting his head together, getting the bike back on the grid, and racing, and his crew. I'm sorry they didn't get any points, but still. Props to Lorenzo Baldassarre. He did what it takes to win. That guy might win the championship. I think he's got what it takes. Anyway, let's go to MotoGP. The thing I found interesting about MotoGP was, first of all, how good is Fabio Quartararo this year? Nobody saw that coming. There's people with crystal balls going, man, I didn't even see that coming. I get paid for this shit. That's how great Fabio is. And you didn't feel for that kid, you ain't got a heart. You're like the lion from Wizard of Oz. You're looking for a heart. Or is that the Tin Man? Anyway, one of them is looking for, Tin Man was looking for like WD-4. Anyway, when you watched him when that bike cut out on him and he started crying, he's like a teenager. He started crying and they had to keep it together for him. You see him, he's telling what happened with the bike, and you see the tears. Even Simon Crafar said he shed a tear watching Fabio shed a tear. It shows he cares. And he is a teenager. When I saw him at Coda and it was that rain delay, I said, what are you gonna do now? He goes, I'm gonna go back to the trailer and play video games. How great is that? That is a kid for you, man. Crutchlow said he's gonna go back and try to get a nap, and here Fabio said he's gonna play video games. How great is it? So he had to love him, and you felt for that kid. I mean, my heart bled for him. Anyway, and here's what I found interesting. Marquez revealed a little bit more than the Marquez that's like who says the politically correct answers. You know, in press conference, like Marquez, what do you think of the race? What do you think of the race? Yes, of course. I was happy with the victory, and you know, he said. But when they were catching him, he said he looked at his pit board and, you know, like, I think Renz got within, you know, like he cut a tenth off, so he would just increase it. He goes, I did that just to show my competitors, hey, I'm still the man. I know what you're doing. And so I see your 10th, and I'm going to raise you 2 tenths. Remember, with 16 laps to go and Morbidelli breathing down his neck like a creeper at a nightclub, and you're a girl in a miniskirt going, oh, God, somebody save me for this creeper. And with 16 laps to go, he went from 8 tenths to a second and a half, and then he went to 2 seconds, and it was done. It was gone. It was like gone. And what I found impressive was Marquez was racing, and he said he looked up at the screen. He said, I saw something happen to Fabio's bike. I knew he was out of the race because something happened to his bike. As he's racing, he had the wherewithal to look up at the big screen as he's racing. He's going 180 miles an hour. I can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. And here he goes, oh man, something happened to my man's bike. Oh man, I feel bad for Fabio. That's terrible. Anyway, okay, downshift, going to the corner, and okay, come out, 4th, 5th gear. Okay, and how does he do that? Only thing been more impressive than that, if he would have passed by his pit board and they would have threw him the remote control and he would have changed channels. That's the only thing that would have been more impressive than that. Marquez is in another. He's. They say like, you know, like this Marquez's championship all the way. But let me tell you something. It's almost like a World Superbike. Even though Batista's winning everything, Jonathan Rea is coming in second every race. And the difference is, though, none of his competitors, and that's why he really wasn't that worried about Fabio, was because Fabio was taking points from his competitor, and that's what Marquez said. He is so smart now, even though, and they try to act like Marquez is old, like he's the oldest one on the panel, right? He's 26, and he's like the elder statesman. Anyway, I found that incredible, and I found that funny, and I also found it funny how Alex Rins, and he asked Marquez, you see Alex Rins as a threat for your championship to challenge you for the championship. And Rins kind of joking, put his hand on Marquez's shoulder like, hey, man, I'm here. It is a joke, but Rins is feeling himself, too. I told you, Rins is kind of like, yeah, man, I'm here. That's 2 podiums in a row. What you want to do, bruh? So Rins is feeling himself, too. He's been funny in the press conferences. You can tell he's got a little swagger to him, right? He's feeling himself. So the championship is not done yet. And by the way, what happened to Lorenzo? Honestly, and I don't make fun of these guys, like I said, because he crashes and everything. I mean, I try to make it funny, but I don't make fun of those guys because sometimes they go through it. Like when Lorenzo, when the bike cut out on him in Coda and he saw him running and people make fun of him because he didn't run as fast as Marquez. That's because he had 2 broken ankles. That's why, and he had a broken rib. That's why he can't run so fast. But the fact that Matt Burke and Steve Day, they said they asked Lorenzo's, the crew guys, his crew, they go, hey man, what was up with Lorenzo for the race? And they went, and it wouldn't have been so bad, but Lorenzo was kind of bragging in a way, like going, you wait till we get her rep, and that's when you see what I'm gonna be about. You wait, I don't care about these other 3 races. You wait till we get to her rep, and then I'm gonna show you what I can do on this Repsol Honda. That's kind of like, ladies, you understand what I'm talking about. You ever have a guy kind of brag like, oh, you wait till this weekend, girl. You wait, we gonna get a hotel. You wait till this weekend, girl. You're like, oh, here we go. Ooh. And then it's like, oh God. And you're like, really? And he's like, yeah. So anyway, I'll call you. That's what that's what Lorenzo did. He did a oh God. Nobody knows what happened. That's why in a way this review was late. I was trying to find out what Lorenzo had to say about why he had a bad showing. He didn't say anything. I couldn't find any interviews. Like I said, even his own crew was like, And now I'm talking out of my ass right here now. I'm talking out of my ass right now. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm talking out of my ass. But I kind of get the feeling, just maybe. Remember last year when he said he thought about retiring when he was on Ducati and it wasn't going so well? You know, once you say retirement, it's kind of easy to keep going back there if it makes any sense. Once you mention it and it's in your head, he maybe because he's always said he doesn't plan on racing that long. He's not going to do a Rossi, and he might be thinking, hey, I already got 5 world championships. I already said I didn't want to stick around that long. What have I got to prove? So, and you got to give him credit, man. This is his third different manufacturer. So you kind of got to give him props. So I would be surprised, maybe, just maybe, he opts out after this year. I don't know. We'll see. But that was a bad showing by Lorenzo. We'll see what happens at Le Mans. How about my boy, Maverick Vinales? I'm glad he kind of shut people up who's saying, yeah, Maverick's a great tester, but when it comes to race, Maverick kind of shut those people. He warded off Dovizioso, so props to him. Hold on, before we get out of here, before I give you the ride of the race, I'm also props to Jorge Navarro for getting another podium. Jorge Navarro, Moto 2, watch that guy. That guy's coming up. Let me see. I have some other points I wanted to talk about, but I don't want this to go too long. So anyway, it is going already to go too long. But real quick, like for Ducati, even though I love Petrucci and what he did, he got a top 5, which is great. But you kind of got the feeling, and I'm talking out of my ass on this. With Bautista going so well in World Superbike, and they say it's a 1-year deal, why don't you just bring in Bautista to race the factory Ducati next year? If he wins the championship, let him race, have him give him a 1-year deal. That's if Miller doesn't do well. If Miller doesn't do well and outrank Petrucci, if they're like kind of neck and neck, if Miller's still crashing a lot, and maybe Petrucci doesn't get the results that they want, and Bagnaia doesn't really get it yet, which I think he will, but he doesn't really get it yet, why not bring in Bautista for 1 year? I mean, 1 year on a factory bike, he and Dovizioso by to the side. What? I think that would be that would be the dynamic duo, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm talking out of my ass. I so feel for Zarco. Man, that guy's having a rough time on KTM. Hope he gets it right. Anyway, it's going on way too long. Thanks for listening. We'll get to Ride of the Race. Ride of the Race for Moto 3. I'm going to give it to Niccolo Antonelli, what that guy's been through. Plus, he's with Simoncelli's dad, that team. Man, like I said, I almost cried on that one. I get teared up thinking about that, too. Anyway, the Heartbreak Award goes to Jamie Massia. Man, crashed on the first lap, first turn. I feel for the guy. He'll be back though. Keep your head up, kid. Like he's watching this. Moto 2 Ride of the Race. I gotta give it to Moto 2. I gotta give it to Augusto Fernandez. He had injuries. Remember that horrible crash he had in Argentina where he high-sided, just vicious high-side? He came back, podium, good for him. Ride of the Race. Heartbreak Award, Moto 2. I'm gonna have to go Heartbreak Award for Moto 2. I'm gonna have to give it up to I'm gonna give it to Alex Marquez, man. I had him winning the race, and then he happened to be involved in that wreck. He got back on the grid, finished 24th. Heartbreak Award, Moto 2 goes to Alex Marquez. A Ride of the Race in MotoGP, I'm going to give it to Maverick Vinales. The way he held off those Ducatis, that was impressive. It was like watching a cartoon. Remember that old Bugs Bunny cartoon, like Maverick, leg dangling, riding ragged? Because Maverick is a smooth guy, and those Ducatis pushed him, and he held Dovizioso off. Great job by Maverick. I'm glad he's back. Heartbreak Award, come on, Fabio Q. That kid, I felt for him. He ran a great race. Good job, Fabio. I can't wait for Le Mans. I think Le Mans, watch for Maverick and Le Mans. Maverick's not done yet. Watch for Maverick and Rossi in Le Mans. Also, watch for Alex Rins. It's going to be great. The Repsols don't do that well in Le Mans. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Give me some comments or whatever. I appreciate you guys watching. BT, GP Review, you know the word.